In DaVinci Resolve, you can nest timelines in other timelines. So now I have two timelines in my project. This is timeline 1. If I double click it, it says timeline 1 here, and this is timeline 1. And this is timeline 2. If I double click it, now it says timeline 2, and this is timeline 2. Now, if I switch back to timeline 1, for example, I can drag timeline 2 as one clip into timeline 1. So let's zoom out. This is not a clip. This is timeline 2, treated as one clip inside timeline 1. Note this icon here. This means this is a timeline that is being nested inside this timeline. So what happened here is that instead of going to timeline 2, selecting the files, copying them, then switching to timeline 1 and pasting the files here, I simply dragged timeline 2 and nested it inside timeline 1. Now, what if I want to get rid of timeline 2? As a timeline, but keep the clips? I can right click on timeline 2 and select decompose in place. If I click it, now I kept the clips from timeline 2 while removing the timeline itself. So now I just have normal clips. Let's undo. And I'm back now to having timeline 2, and I'll delete it. So this is how you nest timelines. However, there's another option. Let's zoom in a bit, and let's say now that I want these 3 clips to be treated as one clip. I can right click, and the first option I have here is new compound clip. If I click it, Resolve is asking me to name this compound clip. Let's keep it to compound clip 1, and I'll hit create. And now I have one clip here instead of 5 clips. But notice this is not a clip. This is a form of timelines that is called compound clip. And if I see it in the media pool, this is the new timeline. Note that the icon for compound clips is different than the icon for a normal timeline. However, for the most part, they behave the same. One of the main differences is that if I double click on a timeline, it opens in the timeline. However, if I double click on a compound clip, it opens in the source monitor as if it's a normal clip. However, I can still edit its contents by simply right clicking on the compound clip, and I have the option to open in timeline. If I click it, now this is the compound clip opened as a timeline, and I can edit it as if I'm editing any other regular timeline. So let's switch back to timeline 1, and this is the compound clip. I can also right click it and select decompose in place. So now I'm back to having the clips on the timeline without the compound clip or the nested timeline. And this is how you add nested timelines and compound clips in DaVinci Resolve.